Ever thought about running a nursery? A life under the sun amongst those flowers. Over the next 12 months, we'll show you the nursery year. The happy, sad, and depressed. We'll give it to you straight. I'm Malcolm Hopper. This is Eggleston Hall Gardens. So you want to run a nursery? We shall see. It's some sad circumstances that beset every family. These kind of circumstances forced me to be unable to record much in April. However, in the background here you will see the most lovely tree. This was recorded at the end of March, early April, and it's a Populus Candicans aurora. And you can see how I've turned it into effectively a totem pole. It's had all its branches cut right back, but I promise you there is method in my madness, as you will see. And here is your Populus Candicans aurora. Isn't that marvellous? 20 foot tall. And this is the point. This is the point of cutting them right back. Hard. I know it looked like a totem pole, but you get this lovely big dash of colour hugging the trunk. Absolutely beautiful. Bloody customers. God, it's time for me to go. Oh, look at that. Trolley load of plants. Whoa, look at that. That's what I like to see. And there on a sunny evening, 2 weeks further. Very windy. John is starting to work on his borders now. You can see we're getting some bare earth there. Working their way slowly through it. It's a hardish job to do because you have to tickle away at them. Put a nice wigwam of sweet peas there. It's coming along. It's the 12th of April, 13th of April today I think. And you can see we're just getting stuff starting to show its head. Over there we have a huge population of thrush here. Loads and loads of them. Oh, look at that magnolia. This is a variety called sundew. I really hammered it last year because it's just getting too big and it's right next to a glass house. I grew this from an air layer. Look at that. I'm really looking forward to seeing it with quite a number of flowers on. It's a type, I think, Solangiana species. You know, the typical goblet flowers. But there's such a chill in the air still. The veratrums. The amount of people that say to me, "Is that a hoster? Have you got one of those?" And this is the ideal time to see it, veratrum. You see the pleated skirts. School teachers, I just called them skirts. They're like pleated skirts. When I was a kid, we used to have teachers. They all seemed to wear these pleated tartan skirts. It's not a fetish or anything like that. It's just that something I remember from school, and they always had big asses. Got a shelf at the back you could stand a blackboard on. One of the problems with veratums, if it comes cold or a cold wind, they can burn at the edge, at the ends of the leaves. You see? This is album. The other one was nigrum. That's regarding the flowers. It's nice. It's nice. The flowers themselves are like a sweet corn. Great big sweet corn type flower. Just one that looks like it's had a dose of speed or something. It no longer thinks it's a sweet corn. These two cryptomerias, this is elegans. It's losing its winter purple colour. You can see. And it's starting to turn its spring green, and then it'll go fully green in the summer. It's lovely when the cryptomerias are one of my favourite plants. You can see I've lifted the skirt on this. And this is the same one, Cryptomeria elegans, but this is aurea. And this just stays a beautiful bright gold colour. Lovely plants. Fleecing. It's the middle of April and we still need to fleece. Oh hell. It's a funny thing about this time of the year. We've had 4 seasons today. We've had bright sun in the late afternoon. Look at all these little oxlips. Aren't they beautiful? Come back to them. Yeah, bright sun in the afternoon, and we had snow first thing this morning. People couldn't get across the tops because of the snow. And then it turned to rain, dried out, and then about 2 o'clock in the afternoon we had an almighty gale for about an hour. But everything's starting to shape up a bit now. You feel that the season's about to start. All we want is some warm weather. Looks fantastic, John.
Yeah.
You see what the frost has done to those bloody magnolias. Look at that. How long have you had that little fork?
This little fork, I've had this now for about 1.5 years.
Right.
It's made by a company called Elwell,
Right.
most famous and best garden tool manufacturer in the world.
Yeah.
Now this one is original, it's 70 years old,
Right.
still in perfect condition, and it's ideal for borders with the little short. You can see compared to my hand, it's only small. Some people call it a lady's fork, but it's just a border fork. You can really get down and grub through the weeds in the borders.
tines are round, are they? Yeah.
Well, if you can just sort of see the...
Yeah, sort of ovalish.
Yeah, ovalish, yeah, quite flat, and it's nice and sharp.
Well, it's making a lovely job.
Oh yeah, a lot to do, an awful lot to do, but once it's done, and if it's done properly, it makes such a difference. And
Well, it makes a difference to how it, I mean, the whole overall effect. If you look at a border like that, it's horrible, isn't it?
oh, it is, but it'll look fantastic when it's done.
And then compared to what you've done already.
Yes, yeah.
And I like the way you always put an edge on it. Do you think that's really important?
I think it sets the border off. Absolutely sets it off. It shows you care when you've got the edge lifted up. Break that up a bit.
Yeah.
Turn the fork on its back.
Yeah.
And we're just lifting the border up. And we just run along there.
Yeah.
It just looks finished off. It's great for edging as well, with the lawn edging shears. and it's easier for the lawnmower. They're not catching the borders. And
But young gardeners could learn a lot by doing that.
they could.
Because they don't bloody care. They only half do a job.
I think it's us sort of older generation who have a bit more pride in our workmanship and
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
yeah.
I think so. You hope that they will get it eventually, but sometimes I do despair.
Yes.
You cheeky little bastard. Do you want my bloody dinner? Yeah.
Oh, he's going for the ball. He's going for the ball. There you go. It's a little buffet. It's a buffet breakfast.
Stop him dibbing in my porridge.
Oh, here's Bob.
Here. Are they my breakfast sprinkles?
Yeah.
Yeah, little
He
bastard.
doesn't mind though.
It happened at last Whitsun time that I had got no place, and I gied up the inch fee my fortune for to chase. Sing irie erity Harry and sing irie erity Ann. I met him, we had a Mitchell and a fee we did presume. He's a farmer in Glenefflin at a place called Sleepy Toon. Sing irie erity Harry and sing irie erity Ann. I agree, says he, you'll get the fairest play, for I never bidden my servants work above 12 hours a day. Sing irie erity Harry and sing irie erity Ann. If all be true, you'll tell to me you think the place will suit, and I will gang along with you, although you're an ugly brute. Sing irie erity Harry and sing irie erity Ann. To bed at 9 and never leave the tune, for every time we left it we'd be fined a half a croon. Sing irie erity Harry and sing irie erity Ann. Well, we never heeded what he said, but we took the pass, sometimes to buy tobacco and sometimes to court a lass. Sing irie erity Harry and sing irie erity Ann. Sing irie erity Harry and sing irie erity Ann. To the term has come at last and we all get free. We'll gang down to Telford for to hail ourselves a spree. Sing irie erity Harry and sing irie erity Ann. And when we gang to Telford we'll mark the class gang round. We'll tell them the news is that we got the Sleepy Toon. Sing irie erity Harry and sing irie erity Ann. Maybe we'll see old Mitchell there a supping at his bros. I'll give him a lend him a hanky for to wipe his snottery nose. Sing irie erity Harry and sing irie erity Ann.
cercidiphyllum, Japonicum pendulum, the weeping Katsura. This is the most beautiful tree. This was planted some 15 years ago. It goes a lovely butter yellow in the autumn, and you get the typical Katsura smell as the leaves dry and fall. You get that scent of candy floss or burnt sugar. Wonderful thing. Just hangs down in these curtains. Dr. Livingstone, I presume. Right, one of the things you can do is root cuttings. Now, you would have had some nice poppy root cuttings, but I had a problem with the camera and I lost all the material on it.
You mean deleted?
Deleted. Yes. Never mind. Let's go show you this. This is a golden hop, and this is a prime example of how you can do root cuttings. You see? There. It's probably easier to use secateurs, and you just cut them off. Lengths of root. Now, it's very important with root cuttings, you know which end is up. So you put a straight cut across the bottom and a slanted one at the bottom. So you've always got the point. I always try and remember in my mind that the point goes into the soil. And that's all there is to it. This is another root. So we'll make another pointed cut there. And a flat one across the top. Just clean that up. Making the right bollocks of this.
You want some sharp secateurs?
There we are. My secateurs have been doing a lot of work, so we're a little bit blunt. Try and use nice sharp ones.
Preferably a scalpel would be good.
Scalpel is excellent. And then that one across there. It's really important you know which end is up on root cuttings. They're quite simple to do. Just take these over further up the potting shed. You just want a small pot and just poke them in. You want the top of the cutting to be roughly level with the soil surface. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit below. And just poke them in. Can you get that, Thomas?
Yep.
And then we'll just fill that up. Now, what you can do then is get just a little bit of grit on the top. I hope you're not, your hand is shaking. So we'll put this, we will label it and water it in, and here are some poppies that were filmed before. You can see they're just starting to break through. The roots are in there, see the old roots, and this is one that's already started into growth. So it's a very effective way of propagating plants that have thick roots, that, you know, plants, perennials that don't divide, or as in the case of this, the golden hop. We'll look at them again later on. Come on, Thomas, turn the bugger off. And here's one of the pots. And the root cuttings have taken, we're on about 5 or 6 weeks later now. Exactly what you want. Now we can just divide down that pot and pot them on individually. Perfect cuttings. One of the loveliest Well, not loveliest, but most dramatic of plants is the ornamental rhubarb, or rheum. These leaves are about anywhere between 60 and 90 centimetres across. Wonderful plant. You can see the typical rhubarb head in there. And the lovely red leaves. You can buy this, but you need to know the stock plant. You need to know the provenance, because they're not all as red as this one. This is absolutely scarlet. Crimson? I don't know. One of them deep reds anyway. There. Dramatic. Sometimes when a plant is grafted onto a rootstock that's not fully compatible, or the differences in their growth rates. This would have been done about 80 years to 100 years ago. You can see this really big, thick sort of trunk. But at the top, the actual cherry itself, it would have been top worked. It would have been grafted up here. But you can see the actual branches that come off the cherry themselves are about a quarter the size of the trunk. While it will have given the tree some extra vigour, it does look a little daft. This is a clematis alpina, Pamela Jackman. You can also grow this one in semi-shade. They will tell you that you can't, but I'll show you something. This is a different clematis alpina. You can see we're growing it in semi-shade here. This is a shade house, and it's going right up to the top, maybe 4-5 meters, and back down the outside. This is a variety called Alpina Blue Dancer. You can see that compared to the Alpina, the tepals or petals there, if you want, are much longer. Some very nice veratrums that we potted on earlier growing there. They need to grow on for a year. It takes about 7 years to get them to that stage. That's some young rheum divisions. Growing on here are the skunk cabbage, Lysicoton americana. Big yellow spades flowers. And their orchids are just starting to grow. These are orchid Dactylorhiza fuchsiae. Look at that, the lovely speckled leaf. Wonderful things. Sometimes you get things by chance that are seedlings, and you realise that you're on to a really, really unusual plant. This is a peony. It's a hybrid of Delavii, we believe. Look at the lovely red stems. But this flower, it's a beautiful orange, copper. It's plenty of buds on, and as I say, sometimes things arise and you think, well, is that going to be a good one? I have a good feeling about this. So, I think it's time to start propagating and finding names for it. Cracker. Only one I know. Now, what you can do then is get just a little bit of grit on the top. I hope your hand is shaking. I think young men suffer from shaking hand syndrome. Usually first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, shaking hand syndrome. Come on.
We are past that now, you've got arthritis.
I'm joking.